Our climate change problems could be described as the story of carbon dioxide and Homo sapiens. You may not know, but if we had no carbon dioxide at all, the temperature of the Earth would be minus 25 degrees centigrade, a frozen ball with no life, with the possible exception of bacteria. A very tiny but crucial 200 to 300 parts per million of carbon dioxide has taken us from that frozen state to the pretty agreeable world we have today. CO2 is therefore, thank heavens, a remarkably effective greenhouse gas. A gallon of gasoline can do the work equivalent to 400 hours of manual labor. This extraordinary advance meant that the ordinary middle class had the power that only kings had had in the distant past. And what it did, this incredible gift of accumulated power from the sun over millions of years, was to create an enormous economic surplus that catapulted civilization forward in terms of culture and science. Above all, agriculture has benefited, allowing our population to surge forward. The sting in this tale, however, is that this has left us with 7.5 billion people today, from 2 billion when I was born, and going on a predicted 11 billion or so by 2100. Such a large population can only be sustained by continued heavy use of energy. But fossil fuels will run out, destroy the planet, or do both. The only possible way to avoid this outcome is rapid and complete decarbonization of our economy. Needless to say, this will be an extremely difficult thing to pull off. It requires the best of our talents and innovation, which miraculously it may be getting. It also needs much better than normal long-term planning and leadership, which it most decidedly is not getting yet. In theory, Homo sapiens can easily handle this problem. In practice, it will be a very closely run race indeed. We should never underestimate technology, but also never underestimate the ability of us humans to really mess it up. Climate damage is accelerating. The air and water warm at increasing rates. And warmer air supports 6% more water vapor already, and this in turn guarantees heavier and more dangerous downpours, such as we've seen last week with Florence and last year in Houston. And they have particularly bad effects on agriculture. But technology, particularly the technology of decarbonization, has also improved at an unexpected and accelerating rate. The increases in the efficiency of solar, wind, and even battery storage in the last 10 years were multiples of what had been expected. In favorable states, for wind and solar, their costs have dropped below even the operating costs of coal and nuclear plants. Technology will win this race, and if we look ahead 40 years, I'm confident that there will be a decent sufficiency of cheap green energy on the planet. In 80 years, perhaps, it's likely we will have full decarbonization. Lack of green energy will not be the issue that brings us down. But that, unfortunately, is not the end of the story. The truth is, we've wasted 50 or 60 years since the basic fact about man-made serious climate damage became known. We're moving so slowly that by the time we've fully decarbonized, the world will have heated up by 2.5 to 3 degrees centigrade, and a great deal of damage will have been done. Our ability to feed our growing population will in particular be seriously reduced. To make the transition to a fossil-free economy will take literally trillions of dollars, and much of it may come with very satisfactory returns. The rate of change will be exceptional. There will no doubt be vicious cycles, and picking winners from losers will be more than normally difficult. In investing, there are never guarantees of success. We can be sure, however, of two things. One, the top-line revenue of new greener technologies will be well above average as their share of the economy grows, and two, the share of fossil fuel companies will decline. A rapidly deteriorating climate threatens much more than just the success of our portfolios. It threatens the political stability of our world, most particularly with an estimated 3 billion population increase in Africa by 2100. We can see the political stress that has already been put on Europe with just hundreds of thousands of immigrants. What will happen with hundreds of millions of climate refugees? We need to treat this issue with great urgency. Our economy needs to change faster, and investors need to take it into account now. We need to protect not just the very agreeable world we have today with all its biodiversity. This is about saving a viable world for our grandchildren, and it's not clear yet that we're winning the race.